Today on CCX News, votes that will shape the area's transit future, how you can weigh in. The area's planned Blue Line light rail project faces further scrutiny this fall. The key question is whether cities along the route will give the project the green light. The Met Council, which oversees the project, is hosting open houses through early September in cities across the Blue Line corridor. CCX News attended the open house Tuesday in Crystal. It gives everyone a chance to give feedback on project plans ahead of a key vote called municipal consent. Despite the name, project officials say municipal consent doesn't give cities the authority to stop a light rail project from moving forward.
They get to weigh in on the physical design elements. That is where the tracks are located, the alignment, generally speaking, the station locations.
There are public hearings coming up in Robbinsdale on September 3rd and in Brooklyn Park on September 9th.
To the best of my judgment and ability.
To the best of my judgment and ability.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Congratulations.
Yeah, thank you.
And with that swearing in for the first time in 10 months, Robbinsdale has a full city council again. Jason Greenberg won a special election last week to represent Ward 2 and is seen here speaking with CCX News. He replaces a council member who resigned last fall. It took longer to fill the seat because there was also a special primary election. Greenberg's term runs through the end of the year. The seat is up again for election in November. Elected leaders from Hennepin County voted to give themselves a pay hike while also voting to increase pay for the sheriff and county attorney. The Hennepin County Board voted Tuesday on a 5% pay raise for each of the next 2 years for elected commissioners. That's much lower than the 49% pay hike originally proposed by Commissioner Irene Fernando, a proposal that received widespread pushback. Commissioners currently make $122,000. Meanwhile, the sheriff and county attorney will earn $224,000 starting next year. That's increases of 21% and 15% respectively for those elected positions. As the new school year approaches, a Brooklyn Park school will receive a significant funding boost.
It was just amazing that we actually got the grant for our small little charter school.
Brooklyn Park's Spero Academy is one of more than 35 schools across Minnesota to receive an education pipeline grant. That state funding will help support and train special education teachers. Spero received $700,000, which will help train 6 of its staff members. Spero Academy has 124 students in grades K through 6, and about 90% of them are on an individualized education program.
So we know that this will benefit our children greatly to have people that we already know can do the work. Special ed is a challenging job, and you have to have the right demeanor, you have to have the right knowledge, you have to have a passion for our kids.
Spero Academy plans to put 4 other staff members through the training over the next 2 years. The city of Maple Grove is using the last day of August to shine a light on issues related to drug addiction. August 31st is International Overdose Awareness Day. The council first recognized the day back in 2020 following the death of 19-year-old athlete Grant Simek. Those observing the day hang purple lights or ribbons outside their home.
Addiction is something that I have, not personally, but experienced, but through my family, have also seen people struggle with, and I know that our residents do too.
Maple Grove's town green will also be lit up in purple. Of the 25 million acres of farmland across Minnesota, less than 1% of it is owned by BIPOC farmers. Reporter Emily Haugen explains how a project with roots just outside Plymouth is hoping to change that.
So this is our second Route 1 farm.
Every piece of land tells a story.
So I'm a 4th-generation farm kid myself.
Marcus Carpenter's story stretches back generations on a different plot of land.
Our family farms in Arkansas, and I understand the value of not just owning the land, but like the values that come from being out on the farm.
Here in Loretto, Carpenter is sowing a new narrative.
We believe that if we can increase the number of Black, brown, and indigenous farmers, we can increase the food that they're growing.
A lot of the produce growing here is culturally familiar to its farmers.
Cabbage.
Carpenter's company, Route 1, cleared the way to make this land available for a purpose.
If we're increasing the amount of good culturally relevant food they're growing, they'll distribute that to their communities, and then just the people in the communities will be eating better food. So we'll have increased health equity, we'll have increased economic development.
Beans.
That access is important because Carpenter says there are only 1,600 farmers of color in Minnesota. With Route 1, he wants to grow that number substantially.
Farming is really about connecting with the soil, connecting with earth, being able to provide for your family.
Yeah.
Right now, Route 1 has renters, already beginning to create generational memories. One of those is Joyce Nyaro's family.
It's very important to have your own food. Like these vegetables, it's hard to get. Like now, I have some friends coming from out of the state, from Arizona.
Marcus says many of the families also make a small profit.
We mix this one with this one.
And it also connects families, like Nyaro's dad, who's visiting from Kenya.
What's your favorite thing to grow and the favorite thing to eat?
Everything we eat, we put it. Everything.
Yeah.
Route 1's mission looks to the future, from the field
So this is the freight farm.
to its freight farm.
Our collard greens.
Inside this trailer, they grow 200 pounds of fresh food every week, super fast.
This allows a farmer to not only have an outdoor farm, but also now have an indoor farm 365 days a year.
That food goes outside to restaurants, markets, and people in our community. And he hopes this mission plants a seed for generations to come.
It's the whole reason why this organization exists.
Emily Haugen, CCX News.
American Family Insurance is also helping fund Route 1's mission. An AmFam spokesperson says they're doing it to hopefully make a change at the local level.
Last fall, Benilde-St. Margaret's football advanced to the state tournament for the first time in 7 seasons. This year, the Red Knights have a new head coach who's familiar to the area and familiar to winning. Ches Moots has more.
After 8 years out of the game, Brad Anderson
you never lose it.
is back coaching high school football.
I'm just trying to get you to train yourself not to have bad habits.
For 18 seasons, Anderson was the head man at Wayzata, winning 3 state championships before stepping down in 2016.
Because I couldn't do it the way that I felt it needed to be done, I chose at that time to step down and retire from being a head coach.
Now, after the right opportunity came at the right time,
Getting a second opportunity makes it even sweeter.
he begins the process of starting over a new program at Benilde-St. Margaret's.
I have a vision of what it needs to look like, offensively, defensively, but all phases of the football program.
One big change Anderson will bring is a flip from a no-huddle air raid offense to a ground and pound, slower tempo style.
Offense, it's going to be a lot different, huddling every play, getting set. We're going to be more of a run team. We're going to control the ball through the whole game.
The Red Knights will have a new head coach and a new quarterback, with Peyton Myers transferring over from Prior Lake. You'll have some weapons to throw to in wide receiver Khalif Brown and tight end Luke Guggenberger.
I love just the energy and vibes. We got a great group of seniors, and we started some stuff last year, and I think we have a lot of work to do to improve on it, but we're definitely on the trajectory, I think.
We feel offensively being multiple, being able to both run and pass really helps us.
Get you some, man.
Defensively, BSM is led by one of the best linebacking core in the state in Chase Brixius and Will Seymour.
Our linebacker core, Chase and Seymour, there's not much of a better punch that you're going to find in Minnesota.
The two best linebackers I've seen since I had a chance years ago to coach Laurinaitis and Tommy Becker together.
The new look Red Knights will open up under their new veteran head coach on August 30th at Wilmer in St. Louis Park. Chaz Moots, CCX Sports.
A handful of high school soccer teams start their seasons Thursday night, including the Providence Academy girls, where the Lions hope this is a banner season.
There is always excitement and optimism around the first practices of a new season. And that's certainly the case here for the Providence Academy girls soccer team. The Lions returned 9 starters off a team that won 18 matches in 2023. It's a program that's really grown in recent years.
5 years ago, we had only enough for one varsity team. And so now we have 2 very full squads. And so just we're getting into some of the other issue of like, how do we get playing time for all of these players? So they have a great time with it. They have a lot of fun.
Among the starters back are junior forward Madden Greenway, who scored over 50 goals in each of the past 2 seasons. Senior Tatum Janicic is a veteran midfielder who led the Lions in assists last season. And defender CC Karen is an elite backline player.
Our whole team's work ethic is really good, and we've been working on possession. So I think finding new ways to score this year. We've had a lot of really good energy, and like all of our young players have been keeping up really well.
So will this be the year for the Lions? The team has reached the state Class A tournament the past 2 seasons, only to lose in the semifinals. There's nothing wrong with 3rd place, but the players are hoping for even more this time around.
Yes, sir. I think we can do it. I think we just have to stay dedicated, stay committed, and keep working hard in practice and in our games, and I think we can do it.
In addition to their IMAC conference opponents, Providence Academy has scheduled some tough non-conference matches against elite programs like Wayzata and Holy Angels.
I am really excited because it's gonna push us to, I think, where we need to be to take state.
The Lions open the season on the road Thursday with a tough match at St. Croix Prep, another 2023 Class A state tournament team. Find more prep sports games and highlights at ccxmedia.org and follow us on social media.